What's going on, guys? My name is Optimized. Today we're going to be looking at pilot abilities, the tacticals right here. We're going to be looking at all of these, looking at buffs, nerfs, and tweaks, and things that Respawn has done in the past with some of these things. So, please like the video if you agree with anything that I say in this video. And if you have any other suggestions with buffs or nerfs or tweaks, put it in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. The next video is going to be about boosts. Then the video after that is probably going to be about weapons, because, well, I mean, weapons is a very cliche complaint in this game, so I don't want to do anything cliche until, like, near the end of this little series. So, enjoy the video. Have an awesome day, guys. Cloak recently got nerfed. Basically, before the debuff, you were able to shoot while being cloaked as you were shooting. Now, after the nerf, you shoot, you're uncloaked, basically. So it doesn't make you able to not be seen by enemies while you're shooting their teammates. Do I think anything should be done to this? I don't think that they should reverse that nerf. I think it was a great nerf, and people were overusing it prior to it, so I think that it was a good move on their part. However, in this game, there's a lot of exposing enemies through walls, map hacks, crap like that. So I think that if we were to use the fact that it got nerfed in the sense of, gunfights, I think that we could buff it in another part of Titanfall, which is dodging all these sonar knives, map hacks, the sonar pulses from tones. I mean, there's a lot of tones. So can we do something with the cloak? Like, the cloak currently, whenever you're pinged on the map, it makes you flash on the mini-map. What we could do is make it just ultimately make you... I don't think that you should appear on the mini-map, personally, whenever you're pinged. I mean, if you have cloak, what's the point? If you're pinged and you have cloak and it doesn't work, what's the point, you know? Just my personal opinion, I think that you shouldn't be able to be seen by a map hack or a sonar pulse or anything like that if you use cloak. It's already a really bulky class. It's easy to shoot. It's already been nerfed when it comes to gunfights. Why don't we just, give it a pat on the back a little bit and help it out? It's not going to get overused if that happens. And in fact, if we do this, then people will be trying to counter the sonar knives and stuff like that instead of using it. Instead of like using sonar knives all the time, because you can only use one of these, obviously. So that could make the meta in pubs a little bit more fun. Pulse blades. I don't think anything should be done to these. I don't understand how you could even like nerf one of these. Maybe if you were to decrease the amount of range it has with its pulse, maybe to limit it to one room. I mean, it pulses a really big area, so maybe that would be a possible nerf. And I see these used a lot in pubs along with AWOLs. So hey, maybe that could be a good nerf for that. I don't think it should be buffed at all. And it's not okay as it stands. It should have some sort of nerf so that there's less of an incentive. Either that or buff this so that there's less of an incentive. Grapples. Now, in Titanfall 1, when we were on zip lines, we were able to aim and shoot while we were going down the line. In this game, there is no zip lines currently until live fire, but in this game, when you are grapple hooking, you're like a sitting duck unless you cancel your grapple hook in midair and have a really awkward gunfight, and then you get to pull out your gun while they're most likely on the ground shooting at you, not having any sort of issue with aiming at you because they don't have to jump shot. So I think that grapple hooks, you should be able to aim at somebody and shoot them. I mean, you should just be able to shoot at someone while you're grapple hooking. Not enough people use this. In competitive private matches, we always use either stim or phase shift. Barely anyone uses grapple, so I think that we should buff this. We should allow people to shoot others while you're grappling. Also, maybe have the time that it goes from 0 to 60 with its speed, have that be quicker, because I look really dumb whenever I use grapple, and I get killed like right in the beginning of my grapple. I always have to get that, I don't know, 2 seconds until I start moving actually like really fast. So maybe those two things could be helped out. It's 0 to 60 time, and its inability to shoot people while you're grappling. Stim is fine. Personally, I think Stim is fine. The only thing that I would fix on this is on maps where there's like an orange color palette where you see the sun and stuff like that, and it's really bright. Like there's already a solar flare when you look into the sun on maps like Eden. Whenever you stim, and you're even like your screen has the sun on it, you don't even have to be looking at it. It will make your screen like white whenever you stim on maps like that. So I think that maybe we could dim that down a little bit, maybe dim the gamma whenever it comes to stimming. I think that it is a weakness of Stim, but I shouldn't be completely blind on maps like Eden whenever I use this ability. AWOLs. Now this is a very controversial ability. Why? Well, basically it's like amped weapons on a tactical, and it's a second way to amp your weapons. And on top of that, it's really hard to get rid of an AWOL. It's almost impossible to shoot the base of it because of how people place it. Like they'll place it on a head glitch sometimes so that it blocks the only way of killing it. And then you're really only limited to gravity stars or just frankly going around them. It's I mean, you can throw nades at them, but I mean, if they're on a head glitch, it may be difficult to get rid of that. So AWOLs are a very hard thing to counter in this game, and it's sort of like a, I don't know, if you can't beat them, join them type thing in pubs. I see a lot of kids using this in response to seeing other AWOLs. Even in matches where there's one AWOL on the enemy team, by the end of the match I'll see about 10 AWOLs on both sides combined because kids get pissed off and switch to that class. So it's obvious that it's hard to counter without using it itself. What I would do is I would switch the AWOL with the there's a boost in this game that's just like it, except it's a little different. Hardcover. I personally think hardcover should have been in place of AWOL. I have no idea why amped pilot particle wall is an ability instead of a particle wall itself. I mean, the amp particle wall does two things, and this particle wall does one thing. So why is the thing that does one thing a boost instead of a ability that does two things? I don't know, man. I think hardcover's cousin is way better than it. So I don't understand why hardcover was a boost and AWOL was a tactical ability. I think they should be switched to be able to nerf it. And even then, kids will still use boost. But the thing is, it won't be as available to them anymore if you switch the two. So that could be a possible nerf to it. I think that if they don't do that, though, they should... I think it's either 10 or 15 seconds. I think that they should bring... I think it's 15 seconds that the AWOL is up whenever you put it up. Whenever they put up the AWOL, they should only be able to put it up for 10 seconds, or just 5 seconds less in general. It's way too long that it stays up, way too long. And I also think that it shouldn't be able to be impenetrable. Like, when I say that, I mean stronger walls in this game, like particle walls from Titans, take damage to a certain extent and then they go away if they don't expire with time. If they get too much damage, they go away. So I think that AWOLs should go away if they take too much damage as well. There's no reason why this should be this powerful. No reason at all, and it's an ability. It's way more available to kids with no gun skill than if it were to be a boost. If it was a boost, kids would have to get kills without using the AWOL in order to get the AWOL. So that would make it fair in my own opinion. Moving on to the phase shift. This is the thing that brings you out of existence and back into existence, whatever brings you to the underworld. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to look at it as. It's a fun it's a fun ability. I really enjoy using this in games where they're using a lot of gravity stars or arc grenades or even pilot sentries. It's very useful for countering a lot of things in this game. I think that it's essential to countering all those things in this game, and I don't think that it should be nerfed. However, there's a problem with it where whenever you go into the underworld, you can, as an enemy pilot that's not using it, that's like watching the person phasing, you can hear the person that's in the other world. You can hear their boosters, so you can hear which direction they're going and if they're jumping. So I can basically pinpoint where someone's going to be when they get out of their phase shift. Just think of it this way: phase shift, and they walk a little bit. I can hear their footsteps. I know they're going to be in the air then. I aim in the air a little bit to the left of where they are because I can hear them. Bam! Out of phase shift. And most kids, one burst, hemlock. You know, it's a huge weakness of phase shift. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't think that it should be there. Now phase shift is already annoying in Capture the Flag. This is one thing, and this is interesting because this ability, if I was a dev, I would buff it one way and nerf it another. So you already heard about the buff, not allowing other people to hear you while you're in the other world. The nerf. Now in Capture the Flag, you are able to phase shift with the flag, with the enemy flag, and then basically walk onto your flag post, and then when you get out of the underworld, you can just appear and cap the flag. It's a very cheesy thing, and if a player is going really fast, all they have to do is phase shift twice, and they can basically go across a third of the map untouched. Basically, if they get past the first 2/3 of the map, they already have the flag. And sometimes they already are using phase shift in the first 1/3. So basically, there's only 1/3 of the map where you can catch a phase shifter. And if they're using Tactikill or anything like that, it's even harder to catch them. Personally, Respawn, I think that if you are using phase shift and trying to cap flags, I think that personally you should be, and this is a drastic thing for nerfing when it comes to pulling flags of phase shift. This is the drastic solution. I would make the phase shifter drop the flag in the overworld. Kind of like how you pull a flag into a Titan and then it drops below your Titan. I think that when you phase shift, the flag should stay in the overworld right where you first phase shifted, so that when you go to the underworld, you don't have it. I think that would be fair. Either that, or whenever somebody pulls a flag, only give them one phase shift, not two. So the last tactical we have here is the Holopilot. I pretty much see one person a day using this. This definitely needs a lot of buffs, no nerfs. How I would buff this? Well, the thing is, this game is very finicky with AI, and it's hard to make a game that's based off of three-dimensional movement a fair game for AI. It's hard to program AI to play in this type of game. So what would you do to the Holopilot? Well, instead of them creating AI to act like pilots in this game, they just made them run forward like idiots. I think that it would be better if they put AI into these Holopilots and made them like just shoot at people with blanks and not just run forward and hit something and die. I mean, it's pretty useless in this game. So basically the buff I would give it is not wall running or anything, but the second that you summon a Holopilot, it should act like a AI that just shoots you from I don't know, the ground or whatever. I mean, if the second that you release a Holopilot, it should act on its own and shoot pilots, but not with real bullets, just with fake ones, just to scare the pilots, and it'll bait out pilots even more. I think that would be cool, and it would make it even more of a viable ability. Right now, nobody uses this because it's pretty useless, in my own opinion. And especially if you were to do that AI option with the holopilots, if you were to completely rework the holopilot and make it so that it's an AI that avoids like running into things, then it would last longer too. So just by doing one thing, you're killing two birds with one stone. I mean, it's great. So that's what I would do to it. I would put an AI on it that doesn't wall run.